Hello YouTube, the Real Creole is here. I'm out here in the backyard on a beautiful, nice, cool evening, and I've got grilling on my mind. I got smoking a pork shoulder on my mind. So what I want to do is I want to set up the Primo Oval XL for low and slow cooking. Now if you'll take a look at this, you see that we have a nice empty firebox. Bring you in here. You see we've cleaned that out. I've removed a lot of the ash from the bottom and we're all set. So what I want to do is I want to build a fire that's specifically geared for a long, low and slow cook. And the best way to do that is to make sure that the grates at the bottom, these guys down here, are not clogged up by tiny pieces of lump charcoal. So what I want to do is as I build my fire, I'm going to make sure to put the large pieces of lump on the bottom, medium in the middle, and the smaller pieces on the top. I'm going to show you the best way to do this so that you get the best cook time available for your lump charcoal. You don't have the dreaded black hole, which is where you have lump charcoal that did not ignite and your fire goes out even though you still have fuel. We want to avoid all of that. The key to a good fire is proper airflow. As you already know, the Primo, other Kamado cookers are great at regulating temperature because they're great at regulating airflow. We want to keep these grates down here open so that we can continue to monitor and regulate our fire. Stay tuned. Okay, so over here in my Weber, what I've done is that I've dumped out the charcoal that was previously in the Primo from an earlier cook, and I want to sort through this. Got a pair of tongs here, and I want to find the bigger pieces of lump and put them on the bottom. Nice big pieces like so. Just want to go through this, and the bigger the pieces the better, because those are the ones that I want at the bottom. And then as I said earlier, middle pieces on top. Let me show you what it's looking like as it's going in there. Again, nice big pieces. Just going to put those all around so that I get good airflow. And then once I'm done with the larger pieces, I'm going to move on to the medium and then the small. Okay, so I got my first layer down, and arguably this is the most important layer because all I want to do is just keep those vent holes from being blocked. So I put some of the larger pieces. You can see this is a pretty big piece here. Some of the other ones, you don't want to move it around too much because then you'll start to break the pieces, which is what you don't want. So I'm pretty certain that I'm going to have good airflow. As I said, next I'm going to do medium, then small pieces. But why? Why go through all this trouble? Why not just dump the charcoal in and let it do whatever it is it's going to do? Well, because this cook is going to take between 12, 16 hours or more, and I'm going to sleep at least once during that time. I don't want my fire going out in the middle of the night. Do a little bit of prep up front. It'll save you a lot of headache and a lot of frustration later on. It definitely pays off. Now we're adding more medium-sized pieces. All right, and then you want to start adding the smaller pieces. As I'm adding these, you'll notice some of them are different shades of black and gray. And the reason for that is because I've also opened up a new bag to use as well as previously burned lump charcoal. So the stuff that's a little bit more gray has already been used at least once. Okay, so here's a question you may be wondering. How do you know when it's full? Well, the first thing you want to do if you're running a full load of lump is you want to at least cover up the air holes that you saw earlier. We have all of those covered up, and then the next thing is you want to make sure that you can still put your drip pan racks in here. So we've got room for those, and we're definitely going to need them because we're doing a low and slow indirect. So I got my drip pan racks. I'm going to put my D plates, deflector plates in here, and I still have a little bit of room. So I could get more charcoal in here, but honestly, I believe that's going to be plenty. We've done all of that. How are we going to like this? Well, take a look over here. All those really small pieces are going to go in the chimney starter. Take a look. But I put the bigger of the small pieces, if that makes any sense, on the bottom so that they don't go falling out of the bottom of the grate. So take the last little bit, try to avoid the ash, dump it in here. We're going to light it, just a second, then we're going to pour it all over top of our coals. So I brought over my old stand basically to light this up, and it's fun to use the Zippo. I'm burning some old documents. Instead of shredding them, sometimes it's fun to burn things. It smells gross and it's smoky, but hey, this stuff needs to be destroyed anyway. So I try to make use of it. Okay, so clearly our charcoal is lit. Take a look at all that fire. So what I want to do now is open up the Primo and pour it in. Now it helps to have a pair of gloves or something when you're doing this, but honestly this Weber chimney is so great at keeping the temperature away from your hand. I got no problem holding this without gloves. No problem at all. Just want to dump it right across like so. You hear that lump starting to pop. So what we're going to do is we're going to let the temperature stabilize. I have been letting the pork shoulder, oh, things are falling. I've been letting the pork shoulder sit out and come up to room temperature a bit, and so we're going to put it on. But this is how you make a low and slow fire in the Primo Oval XL. Stay tuned for when we put the pork shoulder on.